This is Level Up Success Podcast with Neth and Truth.
Hey, how you doing, friends and family? This is the Level Up
Success Podcast.
and welcome to another episode where we always try to bring knowledge and power to our listeners. So tell me, Nate, how we going to start this episode today?
Hey, how you guys doing today, man? Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. We sure are here. And, we get ready for some good content today, all right? So, in front of me, I have, a special person here. She's going to share information about how, about her career and how she manifested to get into a great mindset. So, I'm not going to say much more. Why don't you give us your name, where you're from, and your background?
Hi, my name is Rosa, and I am...
No, that's fine.
Hi, my name is Rosa, and my family is from Puerto Rico. I was born and raised here in Brooklyn, in Williamsburg.
Okay. Brooklyn
in the house, before it became Williamsburg now, but yes, I was born and raised in Williamsburg. I am a medical sonographer.
Okay.
Oh, wow. So can you describe a little bit about that field?
Yes. Well, I do ultrasounds on high-risk pregnancies. The patients come to us and we check the babies. We're making sure that that they're healthy, and also we take care of the mothers. We make sure that the mothers are healthy and comfortable and don't have any issues. And so the outcome would be a healthy baby.
Oh, that's great to hear.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's important, man. We all want to have healthy kids. So, she's doing something great for us, for the community.
Yeah.
So, what made you realize that you wanted to pursue this career?
Well, actually, I never knew anything about ultrasound. Growing up, that wasn't in the curriculum in school. When I was about 19 or 20, I was enrolled in college and I wanted to be an accountant. And I thought that was something that I was interested in. I like numbers. And I had a part-time job in a doctor's office. The doctor, I was his medical assistant and his bookkeeper. And all of a sudden, his medical assistant quit on him. And the doctor asked me, could you come in and assist me with these minor surgeries? And that kind of blew me away. I was thinking, oh my God, I don't know anything about medicine. I am your secretary.
Yeah, so he basically was just like, oh my God, I got nobody, but I got Rosa here. Come on, Rosa.
Yeah, you put by from the spot, though. Right?
Yeah.
That's fine.
No, I mean, hey, look, there's a lot of twists in life. So, I guess you could proceed with your story, man. It's pretty interesting.
So, he made me his medical assistant. And I thought, okay, I really loved interacting with the patients. A lot of the patients were Latino. And I was able to communicate with them. We were able to give them really great medical attention because the doctor was Hispanic and I was Hispanic. And I really loved helping them, finding out what was wrong with them, giving them the right medication and seeing their progress. But I didn't like the fact that I was, during my the brief time that I was his medical assistant, I was assisting him during small surgeries. And I realized that I don't like blood.
Okay. Hey, man, not a lot of people like blood, the sight of blood.
Yeah,
I'm scared. Even when they're taking out blood from me, I look the other way.
Yes.
I cannot even look at myself getting shot.
I could care less about that, man. I'll be like, yo, take all the blood you want. But the only thing is I have small veins, so it's hard for them to track it.
Oh, no,
so
mine
too. They be like...
Oh, yeah, they be having fun with it. I don't understand. I mean, if you're going to be doing that to people, have a couple of practice.
Yes. No, well, that's what I also, he taught me in his office, he taught me how to draw blood and check the urine and check their pressure. And I really enjoyed it, but I didn't like going into the minor surgery. There was one time that I almost fainted.
Oh.
And he was like, you really can't faint while you're helping me. You're holding, the equipment, the tools.
And you probably was like, I didn't ask for this.
I didn't ask for this. This is not my pay rate. So at that point, I realized that I did not want to be a surgeon. I did not want to be a doctor. But I really loved helping people. I'm a caretaker by nature. So I decided, let me do some research. Let me see if there's other avenues that I can take in medicine. And it opened up a huge world to me. Ultrasound is a modality. There's CAT scans, there's MRI, there's mammograms, there's bone density, there's physical therapy, respiratory therapy. There's so many different avenues that you can take that a lot of people don't know about. So at this point, I started doing research, and I really was interested in ultrasound. I was really interested in the fact that I get to diagnose. I'm like a detective. The patients come to me and they explain their symptoms to me. And right there, I just start thinking, what could it be? Did you eat? Did you not eat? When does this happen? And at that point, I start seeking and searching. I start looking at their gallbladder, their liver. Could it be something with their urinary tract, something with their gastro? And at that point, with a team of doctors together and other modalities, we try to figure out what the diagnosis is. And it's rewarding.
Okay.
It's rewarding when we find something.
Oh, you said you were going through research to see what type of fear it is. Did somebody help you do that, or you had to find it yourself? Or?
Well, yes, actually, I knew someone that worked in a hospital.
Yeah.
And he worked in the hospital, and he knew someone that was going to ultrasound school.
Nice.
And it was one of his friends. And he said, let me get you the information. And he got me the information, and his friend called me, and I said, okay, this is something. In order to go into the ultrasound school, I didn't finish my degree yet. I didn't finish my associates yet. So I needed some type of degree or someone to sign the forms for me. But since I was working for a doctor's office, the doctor I was working for, he vouched for me.
Okay.
So he sent a letter saying that he taught me, that I worked with him for 2 years. I was his medical assistant. I was drawing blood. I was doing the lab work and my patient care.
Yes.
So at that point, they allowed me into the school.
I mean, experience does help, no, because that's how people get started and they don't have the experience. So you're ahead at that point. You're ahead.
Yes.
A couple of students. So.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I mean, and it's just awesome how, like you see how you wanted to pursue a career in accounting.
Yes.
I mean, it's probably because it's like one of the popular careers to choose from. A lot of people, choose to be accountant, but then you walked into a workplace, and now you're realizing like, you know what, like this is something that sounds cool, without the blood and the surgery stuff, and then you started doing research. I mean, you got really invested into it. So you got invested, you started pursuing that. So that's awesome. And this is how, like, I feel like this is how things, this is how the best way to pursue a career, when you see something that you like while you're working in the field. And
you become exposed to it. I didn't know about it. A lot of people are not exposed. They don't know about ultrasound. They don't know about CAT scan. They don't know about bone density. Exactly, they don't know that there's so many different fields. So they should just do the research. And the pay is good. It's rewarding.
It is. I mean, I feel like when people go to study, they won't even do internship, because that's one thing I feel like, that's one thing that hold me back. I actually went to school, studied to become a technician in electronic, but once I got my degree, I couldn't find no job since I think I have no type of experience. One regret that I had, that I never did no type of internship or job, because like you said, the reason you decided to change field is because you was working over there and realized that I could do something else other than accounting.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So
the exposure, man, that's very important.
Well,
man.
with ultrasound and CAT scans and MRI and X-rays, they do give you an internship. So you do go to school, and after the school, you do get patient care. You have to do a certain amount of hours, and you have to take exams. And a lot of times, because of the fact that you are doing an internship, the people that are there, they know you and they know what you can do, and a lot of times they offer you a job.
Okay.
So you get exposed to a lot of other people, which at that point you start networking.
Okay,
you start networking.
Yeah.
So if somebody is needed someplace, they'll remember, oh, wait a minute, there was a sonographer here. She was pretty nice. She was pretty good. She was knowledgeable. Let's call her. Let's see if we can train her. And that's how we all help each other.
Wow,
I know that
dope.
I have a lot of... In my job, we have sonographers, we have interns, we have people that come in just to do the internship, and I try to help them as much as I can. I also try to give them advice, and if I hear of another job, then of course I'm going to recommend them.
Of course, yeah. All right, that's awesome. Is there a lot of Latinos or blacks in this field? Do you see
I
growing now?
do see there are a lot. Sadly to say, I am the only Latina in my practice. I
Okay.
work for high risk OB, and it's a great practice. But I am the only Latina sonographer, which sometimes it's a little bit difficult because of the fact that we do have a lot of Hispanic patients, and those Hispanic patients, they are on my schedule.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's just like, oh my God, I have too many patients. But I really do, the patients appreciate the fact that they have someone that understands their language, that can speak to them and also relate to them. And I give them the best quality care.
Okay.
Do you think there's gonna be more people our community doing the same thing? Because you say you got people doing internship, and not too many people have knowledge about that field. Like you said, like most of the time, like in our community, accounting is like the first choice because that's the only thing they give us.
And not only that, is also in the medical field, what they think about is just being nurses.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Well, hopefully now with this podcast with Nate, thank you very much.
Welcome.
Thank you both very much for doing this and inviting me. Hopefully with a little bit of knowledge, maybe the listeners can do their own research and see that maybe they could be interested in something medicine, something to help their community. It would be nice to have more Latinos and more African Americans in this field.
yes. No, definitely.
No, definitely, because like I said, I feel like the reason there's not enough because, like you said, there's not enough knowledge about this and
not enough exposure.
exposure. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And not. I mean, Rosa gave that word, so
Yeah. If I need to be corrected, I don't mind. So.
no, you're good, man. That's what we're here for, man. We learn every week, man.
Well, that's why I'm saying now there's ultrasound, there's X-ray, there's all types of radiology. You can just Google it.
Yeah.
Google it, other fields in medicine, and there's a lot of schools.
Yeah, no, and technology now is getting more adapted. I went to the dentist the other day, and like the experience I got from the dentist, like compared now to before, was crazy because back then, they'll have you put this thing in your mouth and they'll say bite hard, and like your gums is all like you know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like now
it
it's
tastes
like
nasty
now
too,
they're like, yo, don't bite as hard, you good, like and they have these extra machines. It was a great experience.
It is a great experience.
Yeah.
Medicine is
Keep
it's amazing.
updating, right?
Yes, it keeps
Every year it can get better and better,
Yeah.
and that's good for us too.
Yes, definitely.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I know that you you take care of your patients when you see them. You kind of get invested in helping your patients out. Does how does it affect your mental state? Like, does it help you? Or sometimes you feel like
sometimes it can get a little bit when the patients are very nervous or anxious. Sometimes that can be a little bit draining. But then you realize that they're nervous, they're scared, and we're there to help them. A lot of times, I'm more of a psychiatrist than I am a sonographer. A lot of times, when we just telling them, "You're gonna be okay. Don't worry. I've been through this. You're gonna be fine. You're gonna have a healthy baby. Just relax, calm down." That helps a lot.
Yeah, no, and putting the people in the right mental space is very important.
Yes.
Because like whatever food you give to your mind is what gets manifested.
And it's also with COVID, it's a very scary time. It's scary to be pregnant and to be in this pandemic that we have.
Yeah.
So the patients come in with super anxiety.
Yeah, no, I kind of wanted to ask that, like, how did it affect you guys during COVID? Like, how was things before COVID? during COVID and now, like we're still living in the pandemic area, but I know it's more recognized. So like, what is the difference?
Well, when COVID first started, and I was watching television at home, and the mayor said, "Everybody stay home." Stay home for 2 weeks because we're in this pandemic, and we're gonna see if everybody stays home, maybe it just won't keep spreading. And at that point, I thought I was going to be able to stay home for 2 weeks. So I said, okay, I'm going to stay home. And no, my job had other plans for me. I called my job, and I said, so I guess we're closing for 2 weeks. And they were like, no, I'm sorry, honey, you're essential. And I said, well, what does that mean? They said, you have to come to work. And I said, but the mayor said that we can die. And they were like, no, honey, you're essential. So no, I went to work every single day. And it was a little scary for us because of the fact that we were the only ones going into Manhattan. I was the only one on the bus going from Jersey into Manhattan.
Wow.
But it was like The Walking Dead walking down the streets.
That's crazy. And in the middle of Manhattan, too.
Totally empty. It was really scary. But when we got to work, we still did have patients. The patients were very nervous. Also, they were a little upset and frustrated because of the fact that they couldn't have spouses with them. They couldn't have family members with them. And super high anxiety.
Yeah. No,
so that was a little difficult, but we still had to take care of the patients. We take care of high-risk patients. So we had to make sure that the mothers are safe and the babies are safe also. So they had to come in, so we had to be there for them.
Okay, awesome. And how is it now that, like we have more knowledge of, like how to take care of, like the procedures with COVID-19?
Well, now, with the sterilization and a lot of our patients are on their second COVID baby.
Wow.
A lot of people that they were so busy working and extracurricular activities, all of a sudden they had to stay home and they were like, hello, who are you? And they're on their second baby right now.
Oh, man. All right. So we're getting active out here, man.
Yeah.
COVID that's what COVID did.
Yes, COVID's been really good for us in the medical field. I still have a job. I'm really happy about that. Thank you very much.
I don't think you ever lose a job, man.
No.
Not that
field, yeah.
But yes. So, but the patients, they're not as nervous as they used to be, and they're getting accustomed to it. And now that we're going back to some type of normalcy, things are getting a little better.
Okay, all right, that's pretty dope, man. So, is this like, I know you're into this career, but is this the career that you plan to? Like, is this the future for you? Like, are you going to stay? Oh, and let me ask you first, like, how long have you been doing it for so far?
Oh, my goodness. Do I have to tell you this?
I don't know.
I used to say that I did this for 20 years.
Okay.
And my son overheard me once and said, Mom, you keep saying 20 years, but you were doing this before you had me, and I'm 27.
Okay.
So at this point...
So you could say 27 then. That's fine.
I was like, oh my God, really? Has it been that long? So yes. I've actually done the sonograms on my nieces, and now I'm doing the sonograms on my great nieces also, and my great nephews. So everyone in my family, I've told them what their baby is, and of course they call me when they have a little bit of pain or they're not feeling well. They're like, Titi Rosa, I'm not feeling well. Can I come to your job? I'm like, okay, come on in. Let me just take a look.
Yeah, all right. That's pretty dope. That's pretty dope.
Yeah, you got that history of telling them. That's nice.
Well, I don't only do pregnancies. I do all types of ultrasound.
Oh, wow.
So I can do any part of your body. So whenever they don't feel well, they can come to me, and I can just kind of take a quick peek and calm them down a little bit.
We know somebody now.
I got you. All right. So, what I was gonna get at is, so I mean, is this the field? Is this where you want to retire, like doing this, or do you have any other plans?
Well, I actually love what I do. I love patient care. I do want to kind of change the type of company that I work for. Eventually, I would like to work for a clinic setting. I would like to work maybe for a low income, maybe in a low income community, because I think there is where I'm more needed. And I can give quality care to patients that sometimes they don't get the care or I want to be kind to them. I want them to get good quality care, of course, but I also want them to have a great experience.
Okay, so do you want to like elaborate? Like, is it a little bit different in the field that you in now, versus the field that you want to?
Yes, it's a little bit different. The patients that come to me, they have their private doctors. They have really great insurance.
Okay.
And the doctors that I work for they're high risk. They write books. They write lectures. They go all around the world and they teach other doctors. So it's a really great.
Wow. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's a great company. But a lot of our patients are very well off patients.
Okay.
They're well off and they have very good insurance.
Okay.
And I enjoy working with them and I enjoy learning and working with doctors. But I think that I would be a little happier with patients that don't always get the best quality care.
Okay, yeah. No,
So even though they
understandable.
don't pay as much, I would be willing to take a pay cut.
Okay, now to
Yeah,
talk
because
the
you want to
community.
look out for the community, and that's good because there's people. Then I feel like that's what we need. We need people, our community, helping our own community.
yes.
That way, we could progress.
Yeah, and give in that right mindset, that right attitude, because let's face it. I mean, we live in New York. I love New York, man,
Yes.
but we work too fast paced,
Yes.
and sometimes that could come up as like you just too
You
fast.
you get desensitized. Also
Yeah.
with the clinics and in the areas that are poverty stricken, they don't pay well, of course, because they don't get a lot of money from insurance because most of the patients don't have medical insurance. So they're short on funds. So they cannot hire seasoned, that's what we call ourselves, like a seasoned sonographer.
Okay.
Sonographers that have a lot of experience. A lot of times the ones that they get are the ones that are straight out of school. The doctors that are straight out of school, the nurses that are straight out of school, because of the fact that they will take the pay cut
yeah.
until they get the experience. And then, of course, they'll go to
The
a
graduate
private
to it.
setting. Yes.
Yeah. And this is something. This is just my business mindset working. When it comes to working with with the poverty patients, I know that they're lower. I know that you don't. There's a pay cut as far as the insurance because the insurance doesn't cover much. But isn't it more volume of patients?
Yes, it is more of a
Yeah.
volume. So that means that you're overworked.
Okay.
You see, you're overworked, and sometimes you do get desensitized. Sometimes you're exhausted, and sometimes you forget that they're a person. They're just a number.
Yeah.
And if
yeah.
you have 5-6 patients waiting for you, and it's 2:00 in the afternoon, and you have to get them done in an hour and a half, now you're rushing. Now you're
Okay,
not giving
yeah.
them the quality care, and that's why they don't get the quality care. Sometimes there's great doctors, there's great nurses, but they're overworked, understaffed.
Exactly. Okay.
So they can't give you that care. But if you go to a private setting where the funds are there, then they give you more time.
Okay.
So they get
It
that special attention.
It makes sense. It does make sense because it's like if you're in a place where you're just dealing with so many people, it gets to your head, and it's not only that. Like sometimes, like the patients themselves, like they're in pain, so they're gonna shut out that frustration, and it could get to
Of course.
the worker.
Of course.
So it's definitely understandable, man. Yeah, definitely understandable.
It trickles down. It trickles down.
I mean, it's good to know because not too many patients know that.
They don't understand that.
I mean, people in our community go to, I guess, our community clinic. They don't even know that the people work there are being underpaid, and they're not getting enough fund to do the job faster too.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
thanks for giving us that knowledge.
Yeah, and they're overwhelmed.
Yeah.
It's overwhelmed. So after a while, you get desensitized. That's what it is. You really get desensitized.
Okay.
And especially if you have the higher ups asking, why aren't you doing this? And then you have the patients complaining. At that point, you're in the middle and you're overwhelmed.
Yeah, so why do you want to go down some?
You know what? You know what? I do have to say, when I did work in a clinic, and I loved my patients. They was just so humble.
Yeah.
They were just so grateful. And a lot of my patients, it's the funny thing that when I do get a patient that in my sometimes we do see patients that are really high risk and they have to come to us, but their insurance is not that great. And when they come in and after I take care of them, they're surprised and they tell me, "You're so nice." And I asked them, "Why did you say that?" They said, "Well, I've always had such bad experiences."
Yeah.
Where I've waited for hours. They were mean to me. They didn't speak my language. They just didn't communicate with me. I didn't get the results in time.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty sad.
Yeah.
I think but I do have to say that at this point in my life, I could take the pay cut.
Yeah.
It's okay. I could take the pay cut. My kids are older and they're taking care of themselves. And right now, I really would like to give back to my community. I would like to bond with them. I would like to feel that what I do is actually making a difference.
No, and I could relate to you in the sense of giving that care to your patients. Like I feel the same way with my customers. Every customer that I deal with, they say the same thing to me. They say, "Man, like the experience here has been different." Because sometimes they come in with these strong. With a strong character.
Yes.
And I realize that the reason that they come like that is because they experience something in another store.
Yes.
And they just feel like, the system is the same everywhere.
Of course.
They come upon our store and they're like, "Oh, wow, this is different."
Yeah, it's amazing.
So, we do need more people like yourself.
Yes,
like,
yes.
I don't like to batch on myself so much.
Yeah.
Let the customers do that when they see it.
Yeah.
So sometimes I have patients that come in and they're from a different country, and they don't speak the language, and they're intimidated. They really are intimidated, and we treat them like I treat them like I would treat anyone else. But I engage with them. I speak to them. I speak to them in their language, and that just kind of just breaks down all the barriers. You understand?
Yeah.
At that point, they're just like me, and at that point, let's together. Let's see what we can do. So the outcome, of course, is so you can have a healthy baby and a healthy mom, and all of us together. Awesome. And a lot of times they bring their parents in, and they love the fact that I'll talk to them in Spanish, and they're like, "Oh my God, you habla español, qué bueno."
That's nice,
and I'll fool around with them, and I'll say, "I'm a mom too. I can't wait till I'm a grandma." And and it's nice that having that relationship with them. It's really nice.
Oh,
it feels like home.
When you're tending your patients, I mean, and I'm only asking because the community. Do you see a lot of times the people that you're checking for sonograms? Are there like families that are together? Do you see like a lot of single moms going in there?
I don't see a lot of single moms.
Okay.
Actually, what we are seeing now a lot is we're seeing a lot of women that have decided that they want to use IVF and they want to do it on their own. Maybe they didn't find the husband, and they figured they really want to have a baby. And because modern technology has really come a long way, now they can do IVF. And so I do have a lot of same-sex parents.
Okay.
Which is really nice. It's really nice. And they're on their second, third baby, and they are so loving, and it's wonderful that it can be done. So that's something that within the last couple of years has changed, which is really nice. It's nice the fact, because I don't see people as man or woman, I see them as souls.
Of course, yeah.
So it's really nice to have this loving couple come in and be treated with such respect.
Yeah.
You understand? I treat them with respect.
Of course, yeah.
And that's something that everybody should have respect, and you shouldn't be rewarded for it. No, there's no reason for it.
Yeah.
This is the way it's supposed to be. You're supposed to treat everyone the way you want to be treated, and this is how I treat my patients. I treat them the way I would want to be treated, because I am a patient also. I've gone to doctors' offices, and I've had doctors be rude to me. I've had technicians be rude to me, not knowing what I do. I just go in as a regular patient, and after a while, I'll tell them, that was a little rude. I'm in patient care myself.
Yeah.
And I understand that you're overwhelmed, but you really should treat the patient the way you want to be treated.
Exactly.
So this is what I do. But
that's awesome.
a lot of a lot of the parents that come in, they do have some support system, whether it's the same sex, whether it's a grandmother, whether it's a best friend. So that's what you want. You want support, no matter where it comes from.
I only ask that because, like we're living in a time where, like there's a lot of things going on where it's the family is not united, and you get a lot of these, separated, like couples.
Yes.
And I just wanted to ask you, like, if based on what you see, like, how important is it to have like that foundation, like a family, for like to raise your kids and things like that,
it's really important, but also it is important to have a family, but you have to realize that if someone in your family is toxic. Sometimes one good parent is better than two bad parents. And sometimes if you're in a relationship where there's abuse or there's neglect, I think you should get out of it. Even if you are pregnant or if there's children involved, you should get out of it. Because if you are not in a good place, you can't raise your children.
Coming up in the next week episode.
Yes, but I was in a toxic relationship. I was in a codependent relationship. And I was the giver, and he was the taker.
Oh, I mean, and I know that we are raised, as Latino, we are raised in a certain way. Because you didn't understand what you was feeling at the time, the communication between you and your husband wasn't really.
And I found this great frame that I love, and it's this man and this woman hugging, and it has all these psychedelic colors on it that I really loved. It's red and blue and green. And that frame stood on my floor for 8 months. I couldn't put it up. I couldn't get anybody to put up. So I met this really nice young man. And he saw my picture frame on the floor. And the next weekend, he came by to visit me again, and he brought his drill. And he put up my frame. How can you love someone if you don't love yourself? We want to spread love. We want to just help humanity.
Yeah, I should probably do a future podcast.
Yes, we do.